We're staying with our breaking coverage of the devastating Maoist attack on the Sukma-Bastar border in Chhattisgarh, in which 16 jawans have been killed from the state police and the CRPF. The vehicle which was sent from Sukma and Jagdalpur to bring the bodies from Jhirom Ghati back has also been attacked by Naxals. That's the devastating piece of breaking news that we're bringing to you right now. Not only was the main vehicle, the one you see on your screens, ambushed, killing several of those 16 soldiers, but now the rescue vehicle that actually reached this particular place, Tongpal, to bring back the bodies of those who made the supreme sacrifice in this attack back from Jhirom Ghati to Sukma, has also been attacked by the Naxals. Editor Strategic Affairs Gaurav Sawant is with me for more on this story. Gaurav, the vehicle that had the CRPF soldiers was attacked, and the one that rescued them was also attacked, which means this ambush was not only well constructed, well organized, the Naxals are still out there waiting to inflict more casualties.
And our sources in the Chhattisgarh police, they were constantly warning us about it and saying that they had already alerted troops on ground that there could be a bigger ambush. But somewhere down the line, it's this war on the Naxals that the state is unable to combat from a position of strength. What is it that our sources are telling us? Our sources are telling us that the relief and rescue vehicles that went in, when they were bringing the injured back, they were also fired at by the Naxals, which means the area domination that the security forces had failed at one level. Security forces also telling us that initially they'd been told not to follow a pattern of going, coming in terms of timings, in terms of number of people and number of vehicles that were going. They had specifically been warned the Maoists could be waiting, there could be an ambush, so do not follow a pattern. Unfortunately, they followed a pattern and they came in for an attack. They pushed back some of the Maoists, but before they could push back all the Maoists, they sent in rescue vehicles, and that is that constant fight. You have to rescue people. The time is running out. They went into this ambush, rescued their people, but when they were coming out, they came in for another Maoist attack.
And this also shows the lack of preparation, lack of coordination, not just to avoid the attacks, but also the standard operating procedures. Following an attack, Gaurav, it's almost like, the several different agencies that are part of any kind of emergency response, search and rescue, appear to be clueless when it comes to actually sanitizing an area before extracting victims and casualties.
Well, an unfortunate term that security forces use is some of the men are actually roaming around in that area like headless chicken. There is clear lack of leadership. There is clear lack of guidance. There is the concerted effort that is required to deal with this problem, and not just in the state of Chhattisgarh, but in this entire red corridor. That concerted effort unfortunately seems to be missing. So you have piecemeal operations.
Yes.
You are successful in some parts. The Maoists then slip into another state. Because offensive operations are not being mounted, only holding operations are being mounted because elections are coming. So clearly lack of concerted effort is showing in terms of this disastrous result in the red attack in Bastar.
Lack of cohesive, coordinated efforts by all of those agencies involved. One of the deadliest attacks by Maoist terrorists in recent times took place along the Sukma-Bastar border in Chhattisgarh at 10 this morning. The bodies of 16 jawans have been brought to a Raipur hospital. Headlines today has the inside story of just how meticulously this attack was planned. At 10 a.m., the Tongpal police station received a phone call about some road construction equipment that had been set on fire. Shortly thereafter, a team of 40 comprising CRPF and Sukma police personnel assembled and left for an area domination exercise. As they approached the spot, approximately 200 Maoists opened position on both sides of the road, and they opened indiscriminate fire at the security forces. Between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m., near simultaneous IED explosions were timed to attack the reinforcements which were deployed to assist the first party. They literally had no escape. I want to go straight across to headlines today. Is Kamaljit Sandhu, who tracks internal security and the Home Ministry for us. What is the assessment you're getting from the Home Ministry at this time, Kamal?
Well, definitely Ministry of Home Affairs sources clearly telling us this is a clear violation of SOP. They're saying that the construction site had security deployed there. There was a particular timing when the security forces would be going, the CRPF, the state police. So yes, they would have been tipped off about the timing of security forces, and that is how this ambush took place. The Naxals really outnumbered the security forces. There were almost 48 men and there were 200 Naxals. So they were outnumbered in that sense, but there was a heavy exchange of fire. What we know is that a few of the Naxals could have been killed, but then they have one of the rules that they do not leave the body behind, whether it's of a fellow man or a Naxal.
Yes.
In that sense, the information coming is clearly that despite having laid down standard operating procedures, those procedures were not followed. Similar modus operandi in Bijapur last week, we know 5 policemen were killed. They were also deployed on the construction site. In that sense, they believe that during election time, there have been specific advisories and alerts sent by Ministry of Home Affairs to the state government saying they should be extra alert, especially during Lok Sabha elections.
Kamal, just stay with me for a moment. We've also heard from the doctor treating some of the injured jawans who fortunately survived this attack, but we understand that some of them are in critical health at this time. Let's just listen into what the doctor has said.
अभी 2 पेशेंट आए हैं, दोनों को पेट में ग्रीवियस इंजरीज हैं, दोनों के इंटेस्टाइन लूप्स बाहर पड़े हुए हैं, दोनों को इमरजेंसी सर्जरी की आवश्यकता है, इसलिए मैं आपको सिर्फ इतना बताने बाहर निकला हूँ। बीपी वगैरह सब स्टेबल है, पर दोनों के इंटेस्टाइनल लूप्स आंतड़ियाँ जो है वो बाहर निकली हुई हैं। सो प्रे टू गॉड, विल डू आवर बेस्ट।
Many more reactions coming in what is being seen as another colossal intelligence failure and a failure to adhere to standard operating procedures, as our correspondent Kamaljeet Sandhu was just saying. Let's just make you listen into some of those reactions.
भोपाल से सीआरपीएफ और जिला पुलिस की एक संयुक्त पार्टी निकली थी और उसकी मुठभेड़ की सूचना आ रही है। उसमें 3 घायल तोंगपाल पहुंचे हैं और 3 डेड बॉडीज वहां से रिकवर हुई हैं। इसके अलावा और जो विस्तृत जानकारी सीनियर अधिकारियों के मौके पर पहुंचने के बाद दी जा सकेगी। ये तोंगपाल और जीरम के बीच में, तोंगपाल से करीब 5 किलोमीटर दूरी पर है। मुठभेड़ थोड़ी देर तक पहले फायरिंग हो रही थी, अभी फायरिंग रुकी हुई है। देखिए, मौके पे पहुंचने के बाद ही पता लगेगा। जब कोई जवानों ने पोजीशन ली होती है, जब फायरिंग की होती है, तो एग्जैक्टली वहां मौके पे काउंट करना मुश्किल होता है। तो अब मौके पे जब अधिकारी पहुंचेंगे, सही स्थिति तब पता चले। हाँ, ब्लास्ट की सूचना भी है और फायरिंग, दोनों ब्लास्ट एंड फायरिंग दोनों की सूचना आ रही है, लेकिन लेटेस्ट घायलों को पहले जगदलपुर लाया जाएगा, फिर जैसे उनकी मेडिकल स्थिति थी अकॉर्डिंगली उनको आगे लाया जाएगा।